Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just some DC news. So we are just over, what, halfway through the month of February? Yes, I'm looking at the calendar right now. We are just over halfway through the month and around 2 months, or just over 2 months, I think, away, no, 2 months away from the rumored release of the second trailer for Superman, that being around the time of CinemaCon in April, which I think is early April from memory. But that hasn't been confirmed in regards to like a trailer coming out by DC or Warner Brothers. It's just heavy speculation, but it lines up fairly well for the most part in regards to when they will probably release the second trailer, and also it's tied to a promotional event like CinemaCon. But as this year goes along, we are set to get more news for this upcoming DC Universe reboot as projects get closer to either being greenlit, just finishing filming, like Supergirl, which is currently filming, and Lanterns, which is about to start, and of course them coming out in cinema, like Superman, or on TV, like Peacemaker Season 2, and of course maybe something just starting filming overall, like it's rumored that Waller is, and also something we'll talk about today, like Clayface. But of course, throughout the video, let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything we go over. Always curious to read what you guys are thinking, and of course, go and enjoy the video. Drop a like, takes 2 seconds. So the first thing to go over is actually something that only came out about 45, close to an hour ago, roughly, before I record this video, and that was a new promo for Superman, and this was on TNT, and this was during NBA for the All-Star Weekend, and this was, of course, for Superman. It had David Cornsweet, as you'd expect. He's Superman. He was rocking a beard. Don't know, maybe he's doing it for another role. I was going to say, couldn't you get clean shaven at least for this ad? Anyway, whatever. He was rocking glasses though, and James Gunn was there as well. We've talked about this before, where I think they are going to push James Gunn in a very public manner to try and make him like a face of this DCU as well. So he's like, yeah, he's like the Kevin Feige, but try and publicize him more. I think they're really going to try and do that. And I think him being in an ad like this, and also being attached to that Puppy Bowl that was last weekend, on the same day as the Super Bowl, heavily suggests that. But also in this ad was Shaquille O'Neal, of course. He did play John Henry Irons, or Steel, in the questionable Steel movie from the 90s. And essentially in this ad, Shaq, I'm not going to show the ad because it'd probably get copywritten, just because it was, I don't know if it would, but anyway, I'll just show some screenshots. But Shaq is like jealous of not being able to be Superman. He thinks the Superman suit is for him. It's obviously not. It's for David Cornsweet. And he sort of storms off, and Gunn is offering him a cameo to sort of calm him down. Now, of course, if you know, TNT is like Turner Sports. It's a Warner Brothers thing. So it makes a lot of sense that they would be using something like this, with the NBA being on there, to promote Superman. They did the same for The Flash a couple of years ago as well. Flash had about, if anyone remembers, I think it was about 2 weeks of like, that was like the only thing that it was like, it had like the, I think it was like the playoffs, was it? I think it might have been like the NBA playoffs, sponsored by The Flash. I think The Flash sponsored the NBA playoffs, and of course TNT had some of those games. So, that it got a lot of promotion there. So you'd expect Superman gets the same treatment as we move further into the year, and attaching itself to Warner-owned properties like TNT. In regards to the ad, it's a fun ad. There's not much to it. I don't know if it's going to be that widespread. I'm not too sure how much they're playing it at the moment, and if it's just for this All-Star Weekend, or if it's for, the closeout of the NBA season leading up to Superman. I'm not too sure, but it's interesting that they did it. But speaking of Superman, there was some leaked stuff. This is coming from the toy line, or the merchandise stuff, which always happens. Sometimes it's, maybe you're waiting another month or two, I guess, maybe, considering where we are at from Superman. But then there'll probably be like Funko Pops. Well, there was already that leak, like Funko Pop list, but we don't know if that was 100% official. But this is like an actual toy. This is a up in the sky flying crypto toy. It seems like a bit of a hazard. I don't know. It seems like, I don't trust those propellers around young kids. But anyway, it's just crypto flying. So it gives you I don't know if they do a Superman version of this. They might. I don't know. But you can see it here. You get another look at David Cornsweet as Superman, in a classic pose. But yeah, obviously you don't really get much of they don't have a crypto thing here, just obviously a picture of the toy. It looks fine. I mean, once again, as you'd expect, any small thing seems to be like starting drama and stuff. I mean, I think it looks fine there. It's just whether you have an issue with the suit. Of course, I don't really like the top half of the suit, but I'm sort of over it by now. I can't change it. The movie's done and dusted. But I think it looks fine, and it's I mean, it'd be interesting to see if there's any like spoilers that come, because sometimes you just can't control that, because sometimes you have to have either a character or a certain moment in some of this merchandise, even like a Lego set, for example. If that happens, I don't know if it would for Superman, but it might. that has to happen. So sometimes those things do get out. It's just better, it's just whether you can avoid it or not. But this looks fine. I have no real. I'd be weird to overly criticize it, but yeah, it just looks fine. But now we move on to Clayface. So this is one of the ones that, of course, we know Lanterns is about to start filming, or maybe has started filming, like under the sly or under the radar. But Clayface is the next big one that many people will expect to start filming. It's just whether there's a goddamn director being attached. And this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, so this is what they said. DC Studios has been looking for a Clayface director since late last year, and that was around the time it was greenlit publicly, so that makes sense. The company was even eyeing J.A. Bayona, or Bayona, over the Christmas break. He did, what was it, Society of the Snow, if you watch that on Netflix, which is pretty good. The trial went cold after that, but on Thursday, our not-so-distinguished competition mentioned that Jeff Wadlow from Imaginary and Fantasy Island and James Watkins from Speak No Evil are in the mix for the gig. Well, our sources say that Wadlow is not in the mix. Never was and never will be. Watkins hasn't met with DC's head honchos yet, but is expected to. This one is still up for grabs, so James Watkins, maybe. Jeff Wadlow, apparently no. Now, the feature of Clayface is a modest $40 million budget, and sources say the project is looking to set up shop in a variety of locations, amongst them being Vancouver, Toronto, New Jersey, or Atlanta, among them. Now, this isn't from the article, but it is from the article, but I'm not quoting them, I'm just paraphrasing. They go on to say that they believe that the film of Clayface should be filmed in Los Angeles or LA due to the character of Clayface being a former actor who was turned into Clayface after trying to keep himself as relevant and likable as possible as an actor through, keeping himself look the way he should, nice and handsome. But would the film even be set in Los Angeles? I would assume that they would just set the story in Gotham City. That feels like it'd be the way they would go with it, right? So unless you're going to make Gotham or turn LA into Gotham, which has happened before, happened in Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, or Harley Quinn, or what was it, Birds of Prey and the Emancipation, blah, 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 of Harley Quinn. That was filmed in Los Angeles, but of course was set in Gotham City. So you can do that, but they might be looking for like a place that's a bit more Gotham-esque, which I think is probably leaning towards somewhere like Toronto or probably New Jersey. So and at Toronto, I think you get like tax incentives for filming there. So it makes probably the most sense out of those locations there that it's going to film in Toronto, especially with a smaller budget. A very similar DC film that filmed in Toronto that was low budget and got a good return on income or return on investment because it was low income, was Shazam. They filmed in Toronto as well. So I'd assume Toronto, but I mean, they film so much stuff in Atlanta that maybe it goes there. But if I'm looking at like a Gotham thing, if they want to do Gotham, Toronto or New Jersey makes the most sense. In regards to this Clayface movie, I mean, it's just, I don't really have many thoughts about it. Like in regards to whether it's good or not, that's to wait until the movie comes out. I have no idea whether it's going to be good or bad or mid or whatever it is. The thing is it's a $40 million movie. Unless they spend like $1 bajillion, like $500 million, sorry, on advertising, this movie's going to make money. Like they'll do something Batman related, even if they just have to spread the Gotham stuff out there. Like this is going to make money. I think this is a very good idea in regards to a business side. In regards to a creative thing, I don't really care too much. I don't really want villain focused movies in this DCU. I'd rather just focus on the heroes and have the villains, as the villains, at least until we get later in it and you feel like it's worth doing it. Or maybe if you do like a specific type of story, but because it's low budget, it's like a certainty to make its money back business wise and just keeping DC Studios like afloat, or at least like adding some sort of green profitability coming in. I think it's a good idea. But yeah, in regards to the quality, I mean, that's for me to wait and see when it comes out. Or what is it, September 11th, I think next year it's meant to come out, or it's set to come out. So that date, I guess. And the final thing to talk about is another movie that we don't know what's going on there, but it seems that things are planned, is the Batman Part 2. And this is from Robert Pattinson. So he said he couldn't reveal plot details about the anticipated film, but claimed it's cool though. It's cool. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to really spill too much. It'd be really strange if that happened, outside of him saying, oh, it's set after the first Batman film. If he said that, I'd be like, okay, that's the most I expect you to say. But he did acknowledge the delay with the film, noting it's a while. Everything feels so long ago because COVID just erased 3 years. And this was more like, obviously touching upon the separation from him filming that first film to now jumping into filming the second film, which is like 4 or 5 years, apart from each other, which can be a bit difficult, I guess, but especially when it is something where you're not just coming on just speaking randomly, like you sort of got to immerse yourself more. But I mean, as I always say, good things come to those who wait. So though the delay might not be perfect. I think if the Brave and the Bold was in there, there probably wouldn't be a ridiculous amount of complaints, but because of the Brave and the Bold, either just maybe not even going to happen because of this delay, or it's just holding that up, and which in turn is maybe, holding back the main DC universe. I think that's where some frustration comes out. I don't think it's necessarily that people don't want to see the Batman Part 2. It's more like, hey, you're not doing your job, you're not coming out, and this other stuff can't, flow along as smoothly as we'd want it to. But yeah, as I said earlier on, like, as we move further into the year, more details will come out, more stuff will start filming, and hopefully things just become a bit more smooth. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like and a show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything we went over in this video. Always curious to hear what you guys are thinking. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.